Antoinette, Houston, Southside. I would say where I initially grew up, I was over on 67th and East End, 6736 South East End to be exact. And it was a building called Parkways. You know, I grew up there since from the age of birth to 11. And that particular place and area holds a significant resonance with me because it was, I went to grammar school maybe 2 blocks away, so I walked to grammar school every day. But it was a balanced sort of experience, right? It was like at the time, my mom was going through heavy addiction with crack cocaine. And so, but me not really knowing what that was, just seeing like differences in my mom, right? So like going to school was like my getaway. Even though it was just 2 blocks away from where I stayed at, it felt like it was the place where it took me a second to get there, but it took forever to get back. Just a lot of different situations, being a young lady in an area with a lot of young men, right? And so I remember this particular time, I was in 7th grade, and again, I'm going to school, I'm on the basketball team, I'm playing with my friends, all this stuff, right? And I come home and I see like this pile of stuff, right? I'm thinking that it's just stuff because it couldn't be my stuff, right? It could be my stuff. But when I get closer, on the curb of 6736 Southeast End, I see my stuff. I see my mom's stuff. I see my Bart Simpson toys. I see my clothes. I see change. I see all these things literally rolling down the gutter. And I see my mom just standing there with like this blank look on her face, right? Maybe it was shame, maybe it was guilt, whatever it was still like my stuff in this pile with like these empty black bags sitting there. And I remember thinking, wow, how interesting it is that all this time that I've been like fighting all of these other demons just to get to school and get an education and get away from that. And now that was literally sitting right in my face as just like a pile of what other people, I guess, will look at as garbage. But what I took away from that situation was, as much as I loved that building on 67 in East End, it was also that same curve where as I was picking up my same stuff, it launched me into this situation where I think that was one of the breaking points for my mom, to get her into sobriety. I think that was one of the breaking points for me to realize that I no longer had to run from the situations I had been running from. And it just showed me that sometimes God will literally evict you out of a place to put you in a better place, right? So, it was during that situation where I'm literally putting my stuff in these black bags and not knowing where we were going to go, where afterwards I just think back and I say to myself, wow, I get the situation where I was able to stay with my grandmother. I got closer to my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. I got so close to my grandmother during that time. I couldn't tell you one conversation I had with her before that, but I can probably denote every conversation since. I stayed with her for like 14 years after that. I don't know what my life would have been if I wouldn't have got evicted. I don't know what my life would have been if I wouldn't have picked my stuff up from that curb and had God put me in a situation where now I had a community and a village of people to raise me and say, you're more than this stuff, right? You're more than this experience. So yeah, 6736 South East End is always gonna have a beautiful space in my heart, no matter what the devil tries to do. Shift. Yeah, it shifted me. It pivoted me.